Hola, me llamo Andrew. La revolución industrial tiene impacto en la educación durante la revolución industrial número 2. Mi periodo es grande y es bueno. La educación está cambiante. Pretend you are an 8-year-old girl who goes to school right after World War I. Most of your teachers are females because most men are just returning from war, and women's suffrage is starting to take place in education. When you get older, you decide you want to go to high school instead of going to work in a factory. You find out your high school has a class about business, so you take it, and you realize you really love business and you want to study it further. When you graduate high school, you get accepted into your dream college to study business. While in college, you take a sandwich course, which is basically like an internship at your friend's dad's business. When you graduate college, you get hired at that business and work there for the rest of until you retire. Now, the reason she was able to work at that business instead of a factory is because she found something she wanted to pursue early on. College before World War I was only reserved for the rich, so it wasn't worth the risk of spending all that money if you didn't know what you wanted to study. It was especially difficult for women to get into college because they were either supposed to stay home or work in factories. But this all changed when more people than ever were going to college. More people started going to college because education was undergoing huge changes during this time. In 1918, kids were required to go to school till they were 14, which gave them enough time for them to become curious about something. This curiosity was helped by the Smith-Hughes Act in 1917. This act let high schools have vocational classes, which is basically like CTE classes today. This especially impacted females because before, college wasn't worth spending all that money if you didn't know what you wanted to study. Women's suffrage played a huge role in all of this. Women's suffrage had a goal of getting more representation in education. They achieved this goal during World War I when most of the men went to war. With most of the men gone, the women had to step up and take the spots of men. This was also the case in education. With most of the teachers being female, students wanted to stay in school for longer. Female teachers' pays weren't as much as the male teachers' pays, but this was fixed with the Education Act in 1918. This act also made class sizes smaller and changed the minimum dropout age from 12 to 14. This caused students to stay in school for longer and find something they were interested about. With class sizes smaller, teachers could connect with the students better and make them want to learn more. More women going to college had many effects on different things. In 1900, only 14% of people in college were females, but that number increased to 44% by 1940. This helped with women getting equal rights. In 1919, women were allowed to vote with the 19th Amendment. And by the 60s, the women started being accepted into everyday society. This is how the education reform during World War I caused many more people to go to college. Women's suffrage played a big role in all of this. Without it, schools would have a hard time teaching kids during the war, which would cause most of the kids to go work in factories. During this time, jobs that required a degree were mostly open, so going to college was actually beneficial. But today, not many jobs that require a degree are open, but people still go to college. But that doesn't matter. This is how more women than ever went to college. Thank you.